Shoes are never allowed in the car. Carpet is expensive. I even have a mat that I use so that nothing touches the carpet except air. My name is Gene Ondrusek, and my current ride is a 1975 Lamborghini Urraco. I've had this car since 1987. I purchased it on a whim when I was visiting friends in Dallas, clipped an ad out of the Dallas Morning News, and the next thing I know, proud owner of a fairly rare and unique Lamborghini. The designer of the car, Bertone, also famous for doing the Pantera and doing the Ferrari GT4. If you put those side by side, you'll find that there is a very similar DNA. This model, at the time, Lamborghini was intending to compete head-on with Ferrari and their Dino and Porsche and the 911. This was designed as the working man's Lamborghini, or entry level. Actually became known as the car that almost brought Lamborghini down. The harmonic convergence of difficult workmanship, the fuel crisis was beginning, Italy was racked by labor strikes, and the production run that was supposed to be 1,000 a year actually led to only a few hundred ever being built. In fact, that was kind of the legacy of why there are so few of these left. People that could afford to buy one very often couldn't afford to maintain them in the way that they should be maintained. The engine was a Lamborghini design, overhead cam, which boasts 4 Weber, so it's a very thirsty car. The last time I checked, I get a solid 13 miles per gallon. These cars didn't come with radios. There is only a glass partition between you and the engine bay, so you can watch your engine at work. Who needs to listen to the radio when you have that V8, 6 or 8 inches behind your head? Kind of sit at an angle, so nothing is comfortable. The tachometer is on one side and the speedometer is all the way across the dash on the other side, so you get a nice panoramic view. When you get a good country road, higher speed, it burbles along quite well. Around town, it reminds you that Lamborghini was initially a tractor maker. No power brakes, no power steering. You have to put some muscle into it. Well, the ad said low mileage and good running. Apparently the interior was fairly well shot. And little did I know, it was a ticking time bomb, because the engine rebuild that had preceded the sale, the mechanics had failed to tension the timing belt correctly, and that led to an entire engine rebuild. So it became a ground-up restoration. Another element of restoration of something not typical is solving problems. This being a mid-engine car, the engine doesn't go in from the top, it goes in from the bottom. So we had to utilize the engine hoist. You lift the car up, push the engine under, lower the car back onto the engine, hook everything up. One of the challenges of early Italian exotic cars, of course, is their fragility. You could either run the car and things would break, or you could leave the car sitting and things would break. Everything here is original. Dash material at that time was something called ultra suede, which is another name for fake. Not being able to find fake suede, I decided it needed an entire cow, so we used real suede to redo the dash. My favorite angle is definitely looking head on because it has a curvature there, very sinuous, even though the car itself is a wedge shape. In recent years, Ferrari has gone more curvy, whereas Lamborghini has gone more angular. This tends to be sort of a blend of both of those features. The restoration was complete, air quotes, in '92. But this is not an event, it is a process. It has to constantly be restored. You suffer with something and you bleed with something, it increases the bond. It's called traumatic bonding. So you must value what it is because you have to go to so much trouble to keep things together. I think anyone that takes on the maintenance of a car like this has a legacy. Since there are very few in existence, you sort of pick up the flag and keep this car for the next generation because there will never be any more, and this is one of the few remaining.